So you took over the position in
late October, early November.
Okay, so let me ask you, what are the biggest challenges here that you foresee in the next coming months and even years?
Yeah, so I mean, like, what we've been saying before is that counterterrorism obviously is the top priority, but we also focus heavily on espionage, the cyber threat, which weaves through every one of the violations that we look at, right? There's a cyber threat to everything, whether it be counterterrorism, counterintelligence, criminal. Everyone is using some type of technology today, and we've got to be aware of that. One of the things that just popped up is that they just sent out the survey or the information on the violent crime statistics for the year, and so certainly that's a big thing here. And I know that our partners in the police departments and the chiefs here have expressed an interest in, how do we curb violent crime, and what can not just the FBI but the other federal partners do to help curb violent crime in this area.
Getting back to that, now hold on, let me write the terrorism thing. But when you talk about violent crimes,
yeah,
obviously it's an issue everywhere.
It is.
What can the FBI do to help these local departments make a difference?
Well, we bring resources to the table. We can help put investigation, most bodies, intelligence, tools that are both here locally and that we can bring to bear from a national level to help solve some of these crimes and help curb what's going on. Obviously, some of the federal prosecutable offenses are of a higher level and can take more people off the street than some of the state level what am I looking for? Statute, yeah, are looking for. So, I mean, you have those types of things that we can help bring to the table, but really it's just resources in terms of bodies, in terms of intelligence product that we can help bring, that we can help get into the community and do stuff like that.
When you say intelligence, what do you mean by that?
So like if it's a criminal enterprise, does it touch other regions of the country that maybe Hampton or Virginia Beach or Norfolk may not be able to get that information? Well, if this crew here is linked to something in Washington, D.C. or Miami, Florida, we would be able to bring and link those things together to be more effective at fighting that crime. So if we, yeah.
It sounds like, and I know the federal government picks up a lot of the gang-related activity. So
Yes.
It sounds like that you guys could help out, especially when it comes to these gang turf war sort of violent crimes that we are seeing.
That's right, right. Because again, it may be a local matter from a gang issue, but what are those gangs fighting over? Right? Territory for drugs, territory for prostitution. You see that human trafficking, and so again, that's not just going to be held at a local level. It's going to be held maybe regionally or nationally, and we can bring those types of information to help curtail that.
When you talk about terrorism, obviously, with the military we have here, it's
Right.
a big deal, isn't it?
It's a huge deal, right? So you've got the largest naval base in the world here. You've got one of the largest commercial shipping ports in the world. And so, yeah, I mean, we're a huge target. I mean, it is something that every one of the partners, both federal and local, are keenly aware of and every day have to come up with ideas of how we're going to protect it and prevent it, and then what are our responses if something were to occur.
It seems like sometimes when it comes to that aspect, I think people get a little complacent, right? Don't they? It can't happen here. But then we saw a situation in Suffolk,
Right.
where it can happen.
It can happen, and the situation in Suffolk is a perfect example, right? So that's the hardest thing for us to find, is that lone wolf, that individual actor who gets radicalized or gets inspired to do something and really has no physical contact with what we would think of as a terrorist organization. But it's, again, goes back to the cyber aspect of it, the link that they have virtually to those types of things, and we have to be very diligent in looking at those types of things around here.
How big is this? You guys just cover Hampton Roads, and just how big is the coverage area?
So we cover out just west of Suffolk to the west. We cover up past city of James County and Williamsburg up to the north towards the way to Richmond, and then we have the whole eastern shore up to the Maryland state line up on the eastern shore.
Nothing into North Carolina?
No, nothing into North Carolina. That's all by the Charlotte division.
Okay, so that's like, for us, we go into North Carolina.
Yeah.
Another thing that's been in the news lately, obviously the FBI's done, is really looking at politicians.
Yeah.
And making sure they're doing the right thing.
Right.
From your standpoint, how big of a deal is it to make sure that politicians are not breaking the law?
I mean, you know, we have that charter to investigate public corruption, both on a local and a federal level, and it's paramount, right? The people of a community, the people of a nation have the right and the expectation to have a politician who is trustworthy and is not cheating them and is doing what is best for the community.
You mentioned cyber crimes.
Yep.
I think I did a story in this room talking about cyber crimes. Technology's changing all the time, and it's only getting better, and they're creating apps that can hide other apps.
That's right.
So from the FBI standpoint, how difficult is it to stay on top of what's going on? Because every day there's something new coming out.
It is, and we're a large organization. I think we're fairly flexible when it comes to being able to adjust to some of the technologies that's out there. But as you know, I mean, you go out and everyone goes out and buys a new phone every year because why? Because all the apps have changed, all the technology has changed. So it makes it very tough for us. But the FBI as a whole and we as a division here in Hampton Road are working with companies and with our partners in the private sector to try to overcome that, right? Within the bounds of the law and the legal system that we work in, we're trying to work with that to be able to adjust more rapidly to the change of technology.
Is there anything you want to change here in your tenure?
You know,
anything that was done differently in the past that you're like, well, let's do a better job here?
You know, I think here, and one of the things that I've seen here, and I was lucky, my predecessor is one of my closest personal friends, and so I think he's done a good job of building the relationships with the partners, and I think that's really what I want to build on, not really change, but build on, is that partnership with the local law enforcement partners, which is very strong here, right? All the chiefs that I've met are not only supportive of us, but of each other, which is unusual as what I've seen in other parts of the country. And then with the military, you know, having that type of relationship where, you know, we couldn't operate without our military partners. The Coast Guard is a huge benefit to us, and of course the Navy, you know, is intertwined within every aspect of our life here. So, and it should be. I think, you know, one of the things I'd like to do is to have a more robust response capability across the region for all the partners involved. We want to prevent terrorism, we want to prevent espionage, we want to prevent crime, but in the cases where we can't, how do we respond? And to have that kind of thought process ahead of time is what I would really like to focus on.
Is the FBI's role changing? Because you know, when you think about when I think about the FBI, I think about those things: the espionage, the counterterrorism, things like that.
Yep.
But you mentioned just things that are on the local level, and it seems like the FBI is doing more. Maybe is that my perception?
Yeah, well, I think it's become more a part of what we do on a day-to-day basis. We've always done it. We've always had these partnerships. I mean, certainly what we do in the local communities could not do without the local police departments and the local sheriff's departments. It couldn't happen. You know, and obviously Virginia State Police is the same way. They are our partners all the way through, and so we couldn't do what we do. But I think what you're seeing as, you know, news coverage is 24/7. As the internet and information is out there, you're seeing more and more of what we do all the time. And I think, you know, the director has made it a priority of his to be transparent in what the FBI does. And I think it helps, right? You build that trust with the community, you build that trust with your partners, and people are more ready to come to you with information. And so that's the lifeblood of what we do is information. And if we can't reach out to the community and make them feel comfortable in what we do for them, then why would they trust us? And so, they are the ones that bring us information.
Do you expect to see any changes to the FBI, especially locally, now that we have a new administration in place?
No, not really. I get asked that. I've been in the FBI now for 21 years and been through a couple of administrations, and family and friends will always ask, well, what's it like now? We serve the Constitution. The administration bears little on what we do. Our job is to defend the laws that are written and the way the Constitution is written, and that's what we focus on.
What is it that drew you to this job?
I just think service to country and ability to do it. I spent most of my adult life has either been in the military or the FBI, and I said, I've told people before, I've lived every 8-year-old boy's dream. I played soldier or Marine for me for part of my life, and then I've played cops and robbers the rest of my life. So I don't think you could ask for a better life goal than to do that, do something you love.
No questions? You're always so silent behind there. Anything else you want to bring up that I might
Miss
have
anything?
missed?
No, the only thing I would say is that you guys had the conversation about the Suffolk, and I hate to bring it up, but if you could summarize that instead of a direct quote, because it hasn't been directly adjudicated yet. So if you're talking in those terms, if you could summarize that.
I think the way that we'll approach it is we're just giving an example of a situation that we can easily say that
the lone wolf portion of it is fine. Like what we're talking about, other lone wolves and stuff like that. For us, it's a great job, and one of the things that we are focused on, even though right now we're on a hiring freeze, but one of the big things that we're focused on within the FBI is diversity in recruitment and hiring. And so, we are always looking for people who are interested in what we do, and certainly to serve the community that we serve, we have to be able to recruit people from all aspects of the community, and that's what we're looking to do.
Will that hiring freeze start to have an impact?
It will. They always do. I was hired after a 3-year hiring freeze, and it sometimes it takes 2 or 3 years to see, and sometimes it takes 20 years to see. So, like right now, what you're going to see is, like I said, I've been in 21 years, and you're going to start seeing a large number of people start to retire. And so, if we're in the middle of a hiring freeze while a large number of people start to retire, it's tough. So yeah, we see it every once in a while. All these sequestrations we've been under and other hiring freezes over the years has really hurt us.
Do more with less.
Yeah. I mean, we were told, if you don't lose anyone this year, you've gained. So, so yeah. But that goes back to us. I mean, that goes back to our partnerships with the locals here.
We go through the same.
Yeah. Like I said, and the partnership here with the chiefs and the police departments here is great. I mean, between the different types of task forces we have, the Joint Terrorism Task Force, Safe Streets Task Force, violent crimes against children and stuff, those task forces, and we couldn't do them without the locals, right? And so we're very lucky here. Like I said, I've been other places and I've heard horror stories where people are very kingdom building and they don't want you in, but it's not the way here, and certainly even amongst the chiefs, like you get that the fact that Chief Salt up in Hampton understands that he is a part of what Chief Severa in Virginia Beach is going to do. Like they get that, and that is unusual. So we're lucky we meet once a month, and be able to talk amongst things of what's going on, and you can really tell a difference when that happens.